Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today on Stacey Blades. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Sean?
Good, good. Glad we could catch up and jamming out to your album. And the album I'm referring to is Crashing Wayward. How is it?
Listen.
Yeah,
You're listening to listen.
yeah. Listen, right? A couple singles. Album's been out for a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah.
Been a weird time for bands because it's kind of a newish band with a collection of musicians that are seasoned. Obviously,
Yes.
everyone knows you from the LA Guns, the School
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Rock of LA Guns. Everyone's kind of been there. At the same time, this is a brand new band,
Yes. Thank
and
you.
it doesn't sound like an older rock band. It feels more
No.
modern rock. I
Yes.
mean, I hate the terms, but it does not feel like old rock.
No. It's definitely. It's really unique sounding, Sean, because we. I mean, yes, it's a very modern sounding band, but it's like we don't sound at all like any other of newer bands that are coming
Right.
out. So that really kind of separates us from the flock, so to speak. So people seem to be really gravitating because it's got a little bit of, I would say it's an alternative band, but it's got lots of different rock type elements. There's some cool 80s new waves type stuff, which my singer Peter and I are really into, grew up on that kind of stuff. So there's that element, like the Killers, so to speak.
Mhm.
And then there's a heavier vibe like Filter or Foo Fighters meets The Cult meets there's a lot of Stone Temple Pilots influence. People say we're kind of perfect baby between Stone Temple Pilots and the Killers. If they had a baby, it would
I'll
be
have to go back and
Crashing.
listen to it again and think about that because when I listen to albums,
Yeah,
I hate classifying things sort of. I think of modern. I think modern rock would be like I don't know, like lasers and spaceships.
yeah.
Modern sounds so funny to me, but the album it's a good rock album. It's really what it
Thank
comes
you.
down to.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean the songs are very, very strong. So the bottom line, that's something we really made sure of, that there was no filler at all. Like every song is like awesome on the album. All 11 songs. We had recorded 13, but we finally just said, hey, we got to wrap this thing up. It had been 2 years, and the label was like, we need this now. So we had to cut off a couple of songs off. We had recorded 13.
yeah.
So those two will probably come out at a later time as bonus track or something. So it's cool that we had the abundance.
Can we roll back a little bit because obviously being a
Mhm.
newer band and during COVID was kind of also an interesting time to start a band that didn't get to play out, get its
Yeah.
chops. It kind of did it backwards. But the fact you had a label already though, it's also kind of backwards. Could we just touch on the formation and how you guys kind
Yeah.
of came out of the
So
gate so different?
this band started out of the ashes of another band that I had 4 years ago that was on Universal and had some Billboard mainstream rock charting success, broke the top 30.
Hmm.
That band imploded and right on the verge of success. And I was just like, gotta be kidding me. We're about to sign a huge management deal. Anyways, long story short, when that imploded, I was very gifted of reconnecting with Peter Summit, who's a singer who I knew years ago in the early 2000s. Pete's from San Diego, he lives here now, Vegas. And I had lost touch with him for years. And it was a mutual friend that hooked us up. And I wasn't making the connection. And, I had thought, okay, well, I'm going to pick up the pieces and keep the name of this other band because I was clinging to the life raft of the Billboard chart and all this other stuff that we accomplished in the record deal. And when I made the connection, it was Pete. I was like, oh my God, yes, there's life after death. And Pete's just an incredible talent, unique frontman. He's David Bowie. He's Michael Hutchins, he's Scott Weiland, he's all these things wrapped into up the one. He's just incredible, not to mention his voice is an incredible voice and great lyric writer as well. So I okay, so I basically rebuilt the band. We started playing out as the other band. And that was that January, February, played in LA and Vegas right before the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
then we were like, okay, now what? So, Pete was just like, hey man, I think we really got to change the name of the band. You're the only guy left from that. It's a whole new band. It's not, let go of the life raft. So I was like, yeah. So we came up with Crashing Wayward and made the announcement. Went over really, really well. People really took to the name of change.
Yeah, where'd you get the name from? I don't get it. I couldn't figure out a connection on that.
Pete and I started kind of messing around with names, and it just came to me, Sean. It was like after the aftermath of that other band that just completely crashed, landed, and it was just kind of significance of that, and just fancy free, wayward movement.
Yeah.
What does
it's a good name. It's just how sometimes a name can be like you get stuck with it forever. Like famously, David Grohl's like Foo Fighters. If only I'd known. I like the name Foo Fighters, but
it was unique. Yeah,
I know, but the point is like it's famously becomes your legacy, whether you, at that point, whether you like it or not. So it's curiosity how you got to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was kind of, and it just stuck. And Pete was like, don't just go into the band meeting rehearsal next week and just say, hey, changing the name. This is it. There's no room for discussion. That's the name. I said, all right. So I went in, I go, I don't want to hear anything. This is the name. Everybody's like, oh, okay. So that was it, because you can spend months just going back and forth, and then you get, 5 other guys that are just throwing so
yeah,
it stuck and everybody dug it. And Pete came up with the font, an amazing font, and which made it look even better. And so, during the pandemic, we were like, okay, well, we're not able to play, so let's just focus on writing a demo. We started writing a demoing. We've got 4 great writers in this band. So Disco Kills was the first song that came into play as Crashing Wayward, and that was kind of, it was cool. It's kind of sort of Soundgarden, Sabbath, meet Rival Sons. I'm like, there's our sound right there. So we just started developing our style, what kind of band we wanted to be musically, and we started recording. Once the studios opened up, we started working with Mike Gillies, who was Metallica's studio engineer for 26 years. He worked on everything from the Load record to Hardwired to Detonate. And the last band that I had, he had produced that album. So Mike was very excited and really liked everything that we.
So this was you guys paying for it? This is you guys out of your own?
Yeah.
Without playing out
of our own pocket.
It's just an interesting direction to kind of be like, you've gone through a million bands, and to know, like, obviously this is working out well, but to take, what I mean? The big risk.
Yes. So, and I, having worked with Mike before, I knew how brilliant he was and what a great engineer, not just engineer, but a producer as well. So we started that and Breathe, which was the first single. And Breathe was a song that had been kicking around for 10 years from our bassist, Carl. And we were like, okay, this is really cool. Then Mike got a hold of it and he completely stripped it apart. We changed the key. We did it in drop D. It was originally in G sharp. And so we did drop D on that. And so we had to transpose everything. And Mike changed it from a 4/4 to a 5/4 time, which was very unique. And he completely changed. He came up with the whole vocal melody, which was very unique. It was very Bono, U2. So it took us a while to really, between the 5/4 time period and then this alter, very unique, unusual melody in the vocal, in the verses. We really had to spend some time and get used to it, especially playing it too. It took a while. So we started recording that, and then we also did Disco Kills and Stranger Days, which was very different sounding as well until Mike got a hold of it. And Pete and I had written Stranger Days, and it's night and day from what, it came out amazing with Mike at the helm again. So that was kind of what was the entire year of 2020, Sean. So we didn't play our first show till October of 2021. So we had spent literally the fall of 2020 recording all the way through to April of 20. Just this past, yeah.
So you did the whole album. You guys did the whole album and then shopped
2020, 2022, we finished recording. So we'd spent almost 2 years doing it. And then we got signed by RFK Media in the fall of last year. And all these time, the years are just going by.
I can't even do it. These past 2 years don't even count for me. I can't even count. Like, that's not.
So I'm trying to remember timelines. So we got signed last fall. The album came out in June. But yeah, we had spent close to 2 years recording. We just spent so much time. We wanted this album to just be epic. And I know Mike saw it for how great it came out. So he was super invested in it and took really a lot of time to just refine everything, experiment, try everything. So the end result, we're really proud of it. It's very unique. The songs are very strong. The press has been just amazing, not only for the band but for the album. We get Classic Rock did a review on our record just a month ago, and 7 out of 10 stars. So that was really proud to get that. Have that kind of response from very distinguished press junkets. Was like, yeah, man, we worked really hard on this.
Where do you think you guys are going to fit though? For like, if you're obviously sometimes you'd be opening, you'd be playing and whatever, but also opening. Where do you think you guys are going to be able to say, like, whether it's management or booking, saying, hey, we'd be good in this spot? Like, are you going to try doing the whole gamut of being like, we could open for Buck Cherry, we could also open up for this,
the
Killers. Like, I mean, like, where are we going to try placing ourselves?
Well, I think what's cool is, and I think why we go over so well, is that we don't fit into one square peg, so to speak. So we have all these different, it's rock, it's punk, it's sort of hard rock, it's metal, it's alternative. We have all these things. So people kind of really like, wow, this is really interesting. So, we had played, to kind of answer your question, what you were asking about, like we did a really big show here in town at Brooklyn Bowl with Puddle Mud. And we just came out swinging. And within one song, we had like 2,000 people wrapped around the finger. So that's when I saw it, like, yes, there it is. There it is. There was people moshing during our set, which I found really kind of surprising, but I'm like, okay, I get it, because we have really high energy band. But
so was it you guys in Puddle of Mud, or someone else? Was it a couple other bands?
It was just us in Puddle of Mud, yeah.
You guys almost ended up being the headliner then, because you just never know.
Yeah, it was such a magical gig. Yeah, it was really, really, just that crowd response was so overwhelming, and that's, I think, was a turning point for this band. We've done a bunch of shows, but that one was really pivotal because we saw, nobody really knew a lot about us, and we just came out and just dominated. And people they were loving it. So that was a victory. Yeah.
What are the plans for playing out though, and really working the record? Now that you put so much time into it, now you really got to put wings on it.
We're showcasing the managers right now, Sean. We've had a couple of very big managers slip through the cracks, and it's like, oh, it's been frustrating, So we'll keep doing that and keep trying to do as much press. We had a very successful PR campaign with Mitchell Snyder. Was, legendary PR guy. Worked with Bowie, Ozzy, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, you name it. He's been around for 30, 40 years plus. So we had a very successful one with them. We're just going to keep doing our thing and just keep pushing. And it's hard, because it's like, I remember, going out to dinner with Eddie Trunk, who's a good friend of mine. And we're talking about like the state of being a new band in this way, music industry is now. And he goes, used to be, you got invited to go to the pool party. And it was a very exclusive party, a very exclusive invitation. Now, anybody can go to the pool party. And it's hard to separate from the masses and thousands of bands. So that was a thing we really wanted to do, was like, we didn't want to sound like new metal, all those new metal bands, which is great, don't get me wrong. We didn't want to sound like a classic rock band, or we didn't want to sound like, Dirty Honey or other bands that are kind of a throwback to the 70s thing. We really wanted to stand alone, where people got to think when they hear it, go, yeah, I recognize all the styles, but like, wow, these guys don't sound like anybody. So that was really kind of our focus, and to just really be strong songs. So the combination of the both, we're very proud of that.
It is very different. It's very interesting. I think you are right. And I think one of the big things now is, you've got the album, you get the packaging, the image, the sound. You guys sound good live and everything. It's really about just being placed in the right spot now to ignite the fire. I mean, it's really
exactly.
There's many pieces. It's almost like you need like the perfect storm.
Yeah, like some people are shocked. Like, how do you guys not have a manager? I'm like, I don't know. I just listen to this every morning and get out of bed. So it's coming. It's just it's like with anything. You have a new band that's a little different. People are just like.
But you kind of did this backwards though too. Because you've had other experiences. So it wasn't, for most bands, especially for new band, it's a little backwards to do it. The record first with new members. Yeah. Because new members don't always last. But you guys already done this before. So you're not new musicians. You just
right.
It's kind of like you know what you want in a relationship already when you first meet somebody. You know what I mean? But you didn't have time for the managers go, what else have you done? You're kind of like, well, here's what we have. You actually have what do they call it? A turnkey operation that you can kind of go to a manager and kind of here you go. Here's the album. Here's this. Where do you know what I mean? Just do something.
And you know what sucks too, Sean, is that it's like every band is judged now on your social media numbers. It's like, what does that make a difference of like, how great a band is? It's defined by how many people like their fucking Instagram page.
I agree with that. And I can be honest with you. I think
bullshit.
It's gonna eventually it's gonna erode, because I talk about all the time, because there'll be a picture of somebody and I'll get people that want to follow me and be like, oh, talk to me. I should be in your show. I'm like, you have a picture of your guitar and you've got a lot of followers on the beach, but there's no music. There's no nothing. Just because you're strumming a cover song and a lot of people like it, it's great. I'll enjoy listening to it, but I'm not going to listen to it in the car. I'm not going to go see you in a show. You can have 1 million followers, but are you going to have the same followers that, these would be like LA Guns at a show? You're not. They didn't have the same socials, but a band that's worked the road, and that's just an easy one. I'm saying, no, unless you a real band. So if Crashing Wayward's a real band, it could perform at a club as opposed to someone else who's just to do that. And it's happening, and it's not you guys. It's like huge performers. I know them. I've talked to them. They've had managers that have said, you got your numbers up before I'll manage you. And these are bands that had platinum hit albums.
It's just so
and they're
crazy.
Like, what? We have.
It's a signal. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Yeah.
I don't see it being long lasting forever, because there's a certain point where, the talent, it's going to put a hole in the market. People can be like, you know what?
Right.
This is too little. This is too, I mean? And that might flip things around a little bit or something. I don't know how it is.
Right.
But numbers only matter to a certain point.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
With that being, you're like in both worlds right now, though. So the point is, how do you get out in front of those people? You know what I mean? And hopefully shows like this, and obviously, podcasts are much more of a grassroots thing, which, is kind of cool, because we still reach the masses, whether it be radio or our music sites and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So we're just keep putting out singles. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just going to keep putting out singles. There's so many great songs on this record. So as I mentioned, the video for Stranger Days we shot, which is a very unique video. There's no performance in it. So kind of concept video. And we're also going to release Tilly, which is very, very amazing song too. A lot of meaning behind it. So we're just going to, keep doing our thing and putting out music and, just keep plowing forward as hard as it is, in the industry right now without any help from anybody. Not literally, but we have a lot of great people in our corner that
Right.
are helping us. But I mean, we're doing this on our own, and the label's been great, and they've put quite a bit of money into the band, and they just love the band. So we just keep punching forward.
I think you guys would do well if you could get a slot and on like an M3 or whatever, because I think that's good punk of your audience. Not to see the exact music, but I think or like a cruise or something. I think there's a lot of fans that you could take on from those cruises. You know what I mean? It might be a weird mixture of music.
We did like an analytics thing, Sean.
It's a good fan base, though.
Yeah, we did analytics, and most of the people that listen to Foo Fighters listen to us. That's our audience.
Really?
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. We did like a little market research thing, some program to get to analytics like that. That was where we were kind of.
I can see that. All right.
Yeah. So, which is not a bad thing, considering one of the biggest rock in the world.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I'm a fan of all types of music, but obviously I also touch the rock world. I'm thinking I like it. I see a lot of people, my peers, that I like a lot of the same music or have the same type of music on my show.
Yeah.
Similar. So I would see those people would like you guys too.
Yeah.
But I've seen numbers on my show that YouTube said people who see my show watch this other shows. I thought
yes.
I thought they were watching other podcasts, and it's not at all. They're watching other, I'm like, that's my audience. Like, so right. I didn't expect that. So like, it's interesting, what.
Well, we appeal to like, if you like 70s rock, if you like 80s metal, if you like 90s alternative, you like punk, you like hard rock, like new metal. We appeal to people. There was, I remember we played this summer in Salt Lake City. We've been building up a really good crowd. We did it 3 times. And this kid came up to us and he goes, I don't even like rock, but I love you guys. And that was like, whoa, that's a huge statement. So it's been very interesting since we've been playing out loud to see the reaction, and the reaction's just, it's phenomenal. So
it's a crossover sound, though. I mean, the energy is rock and punk. Yeah. It's just slamming energy. That's the rock energy. But the melodies and some of the tones are very much like the rock nowadays.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's a hybrid, and then obviously you add the sounds and the instrumentation, and then it really just adds more to it.
Yeah, like our single "Closer," the last single we did in video. It's like you can hear that new wave element in it. It's got kind of a Depeche Mode, Killers, but very upbeat rocking vibe. So, which is very different than "Breathe," which some people say, "Oh, yeah, that kind of sounds like Filter." So it's interesting to get the comparisons because they're always different. So, and that's what we love, because that's what we were trying to do. It's not just, oh yeah, they sound like Disturbed, or oh yeah, they sound exactly like the Struts, or we wanted to.
You keep your sound up for a couple of years, and then people compare themselves. Oh, you guys have that sound like Crashing Wayward, where one sounds like this, one's like this. But your first album, everyone's always going to compare your everything to everybody. So you're not going to see a chance. You do this your own sound, a few more albums, and people are like, that's a sound now that other people refer to.
Yes, right, exactly, yeah.
So out of the gate, you're and then but there's also a time where a manager will listen to you, go, all right, let me hear you, and they're like, well, this song sounds here, but then this song sounds here. Yeah. They're like, well, I don't know where to go with this because it's not so black and white.
Yeah.
But when you find the right one, it's even better because it will be much more magical because it's not going to be cookie cutter. Someone's going to have a vision.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And you're gonna have to have a vision to kind of take you to the next level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Songwriting, though. So you touched on earlier. So you're saying everyone has bringing different stuff. How are we deciding?
Well,
because in the songwriting process,
it's
always a challenge. I'm gonna say with like who gets credits nowadays. We have the Van Halen thing with like who gets credits for what, who does all the songwriting. Do we keep everybody happy with 4 song credits, like, or whoever rates it gets it?
Well, so we split the writing the writing shares are from whoever brings it in, but like as far as like the royalty, it's everything split 5 ways. So what's great is that everybody in this band has different influences, so it comes out in the writing, and then for whatever reason it just works. You throw it all in a pot and it just works well with us. And that's kind of why you have different kind of styles on this thing, because you have different 4 different songwriters.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good if everyone works on the songs together.
Yeah.
Big picture is going to be better if everybody gets credit or royalty because everyone's growing. And if you do something solo, you can use solo on your own. But if everyone works towards the same goal, it's healthier for the band.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, some songs were brought in just sort of completely finished, but then, once they got Mike's hand, they all changed, some more drastically than others. And that's what a good producer should do, and they should make it from good to great, from great to brilliant. So that was cool too, watching the development of that while we were recording this whole record. That was really, really cool. So, yeah, and like I said, I love the dynamic on this from the different writing, and so yeah, it's been super rewarding.
So obviously, we want people to check you out, and then the links are going to be there. But I want to touch about before that also.
Yeah,
you were doing lessons also.
Yes, which I need to go soon because I've got a student coming up. But yeah, I've had a guitar teaching business for several years, and it's everybody. So I deal with all day long. Everybody from I have teenage students to people in their 60s, and it's a joy for me to really spread my knowledge of music, the way I was taught when I was a teen, to other people, whether they just want to learn how to play songs, or they're starting from the very beginning, or they're an advanced player and just burned out, want to learn things. Everyone's different on it. So it's very rewarding for me to watch these people just like lose their bad habits or become a better, guitar player. So, and I get to work from home and play guitar. So.
Well, yeah, it really seems close, but especially during Zoom, whenever we got better at Zoom, but they had to, or people had to kind of change the I guess, I don't know, their living style for teaching because it changed.
Right. Yeah.
You're still taking some students when you can probably do it. Like, what's the process for people to reach out to you, or
Facebook, through Facebook, or Instagram. And I've got a great stable of students, quite a few students. So that's the very busy schedule. So, and it's great because it's like, I'm flexible. So, but as far as the band goes, we're on West, follow us on Spotify, on Instagram, Facebook, our numbers are getting out there pretty good. So, again, just, it's, Sean, these things, any new business, it takes time and you just got to persevere. Yeah. But since the album came out, it's really been a great year for us. So got a lot more work to do, but very, very proud of what we've done so far.
Well, I think it's a good album, and obviously I checked it out. That's why I wanted to have you on. And I do think people don't get. It's not. I do think rock fans will like the album, but I also think other types of fans will like the album too. I just think I think most people are going to like it because it has a little something for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
I think mostly it's an energy album. Got a lot of energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think it's a good driving album too. Got a lot of
yes, totally.
Furniture too. I'm not going to advocate that on my show because I'm not going to get the bill.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's a nice, peaceful, relaxing ride.
Yes.
Fast. No.
Let's say peaceful, relaxing.
It's a safety, high energy song. No, album. It's good. It's good stuff. People check out all the links and then hit for lessons.
Definitely.
Stacey, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. And let's do it again. Yes, for sure.
We will catch up.
Yes. All right, Sean. Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
Have a good weekend. Yeah, you too.